My name is Chris. My event happened approximately 9 years ago. I was in a very bad car wreck while at work. Still have the scars to remind me every day of it. When the crime scene officer comes to the hospital and doesn't know that you can hear him and tells the officer, goes, "Oh, I thought he would be dead." Even to this day, if I'm in traffic and somebody cuts me off or something like that, I get angry now, which is a natural response. Whereas when it very first started, I would, for lack of a better term, almost have a panic attack. If I driving on wet pavement and I'd feel it start to slide, I'd find it hard to breathe. I could tell my face would get flush and my palms would get sweaty. Around that same time, I was diagnosed with renal cancer that they found because of the wreck. So I went to get it checked out, went to my primary care. "Oh, it's nothing, don't worry about it." Then I go for my follow-up. Doctor comes in and goes, "Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a biopsy, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna find your treatment plan." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Nobody's talked to you?" And I go, "No." And it's like, "Oh, okay." This lady walks in with this, like a day planner and hands it to me. And she goes, "This is for you. Chris, you have cancer." And I was like, I kind of figured that part out already. I remember going out to my car after that and sitting in my car, and I sat there and cried for about 45 minutes in my truck. I tried calling family members, nothing. I tried calling friends, nobody answered. And I just remember I felt so alone. You can hide yourself in your work, you can just push through, try to do that stuff, but it's hard to push through and lean yourself on work when you're also going through an investigation for a crash at the same exact time. Back then, and it wasn't even that long ago, 9 years ago, if you were in a shooting, they would send you to a psychologist and you'd take a little bubble test and then they would go, "Okay, good to go." But if you had any other kind of trauma, it was nothing. And if you were involved in a trauma that may have some kind of punitive thing that came out of it, then it wasn't a trauma. You weren't a victim, you were an offender. And so there was no help associated with that. You know, I could only imagine what would happen if I'd have said, "Hey, I get anxious and scared whenever I get above 90 miles an hour." So it was a very, very hard time for me trying to figure out how to deal with stuff. I come from a family, my dad was an alcoholic. So I knew I didn't want to go that route. But I began stress eating, and I ballooned up to 425 at one point. I went to work for another department, and the head of that department pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you've done a lot of stuff, and I know that you've done it on your own, but you got to let this go. You can't harbor those things because you've done so much on your own to move past all those things. Why do you still hold that seed? Because that one seed is what's holding you back." You know, I played football all my life, and it's, you know, "Oh, rub some dirt on it, get back in there, get on," you know. And so that was my mindset of, I just have to get over it, I have to push through it. But I actually started reading books and watching stuff about how the brain works, how the brain deals with trauma, and it just was it was kind of an aha moment as I got that information. But this was a 3 or 4 year process to do that. And so it would have been very nice to have an official peer support group to where somebody was trained where I could go, "Oh, okay." Counseling to me was, I don't know, it never felt like an option. I'm 43 and I'm of the old school mindset. "Oh, you got a problem? All right, we'll get some ribs and a 6-pack and we'll go sit in the backyard." If you're in public safety, or if you're a soldier, or if you're an EMT, or if you're a doctor, you're not allowed to do those things. Everybody else can break down and cry and have a bad day, but you're not allowed to because everybody counts on you. Through the years, and it's a very positive shift, the department's recognizing that, you know, for the health of the officer, for stress management, departments are going, "Hey, mind, body, and soul, not just body, but mind, body, and soul all needs to be in tune. And so it's been really good to see that transition. I do consider myself still in this journey because no matter what, that's always going to be a part of me. I've been blessed with a wife of 6 years now. I always give her credit, her and my kids. I tell them, y'all give me purpose. I have something to focus on because at the time it was, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to kick butt, take names, and I'm going to be the best cop I can be. And that's all I focused on. Well, and then in a split second, everything that I was pushing for or used as a goal disappeared. Now I look at my wife and kids, they're my purpose. If I could say anything to the next generation of cop, it's if you know it's not right, if something doesn't feel right in your head, talk to somebody, figure something out. I can't speak for every department, but gone are the days that you're punished for going through life's trials and tribulations. Departments, especially in the police field, they want to keep you. They want you to be around for 20, 30 years. They want you to be here because they don't want to have to retrain somebody else, and they want you to get your experience and pass that on to somebody else. And so I've seen that big transition. And so if I could say anything to the new people coming in, it's don't be afraid to speak up.